Hey YouTube, Shinobi here with day 4 of S.H.Figuarts Greeed Week with the last of the main 4 Greeeds Mezool, the water-based Greeed with the aquatic creatures of death and tentacle rape and everything. So this is one of our few female-based S.H.Figuarts releases, and it's not bad, but there's things wrong with it, obviously, because that's basically how the Greeds roll. The figure itself isn't really all that bad. Quick look at the box since I completely forgot. Basically all of the same greediness that we are used to. She has a cloak thing going on, and while it was cool in the show, it's one of those things that just doesn't translate into a figure well. And that's clearly the case here. It is in completely separate pieces. You've got this piece up here, this piece right here, and then the back piece right here. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different pieces that make up her cloak. And while they are maneuverable to get some poses out of them, they're very difficult to work with. There we go. And it's just one of those things where it's kind of really annoying to try to pose properly. So like you can get a full raise of her arms there, and it doesn't look bad, but the cuts in her cloak obviously make it look a little bit unrealistic and quite obnoxious, really. You can take the entire cloak off, which makes her inaccurate, but it is possible to do. You just yank it off just like that. And so we'll keep that off for a little bit just to get a look at the actual sculpt of the figure. Obviously, from the back, she's plain as hell. You do got a little bit of the tentacles, I guess. The tentacle design going on in her legs. Right there, you do get that, and the belt, as well as back here with the gauntlets and stuff. That's really all you get, because obviously you aren't really meant to see her back, so therefore we don't really get too much detail back there. Just like that, her upper arms are very plain, because again, we're not meant to see what's under there, so you don't particularly get to have an accurate figure. She does have very big Figuarts bosoms right there with the eel going down her cleavage and stuff. That's fun. Head sculpt is actually really good. It is based off the orca whale, and it's fairly accurate to the show. She did have that long of a face. It was kind of awkward, but that's how Mezool rolls. Clear purple transparent covering the eyes, which is cool. So yeah, a fairly accurate sculpt. She does have the high heels going on, so she's a little bit difficult to stand at times. But once you get the sweet spot, she stands pretty well. You don't really have to worry too much about her falling over. So, you'll just stand her here for now. She comes with splayed open, like, dancing hands or something. I come up with the best names for hands. And then these other variations of dancing hands. Yep. So we got those, and then of course we have the Greeed Tamashii Stage, because you are not tired of this yet. It's so cool and new. Same one that's came with the past 4, plus the Ankh stand set. So, not cool whatsoever. In fact, if you have the cloak on her, she can't use this at all. The most you can do with this is basically attach her to the stage, and then attempt to put this over her, like so. You have the cloak jettisoning out of the back here, but she can use the stage. That's as close as you got, is this right here. That's about all you got going for you. And that actually plugged, no it didn't, it just kind of snapped in. So, yeah, that's all you get with Mezool. It's yeah. And this is the striptease version of Mezool. Yeah. So, Mezool is a figure where you can't even give it the benefit of the doubt with the other Greeds on having a great sculpt that just lacks from poor accessory count, because there just isn't enough there. Yeah, the cloak is kind of cool, but again, it's hard to pose with the cloak on because it's just cut up very awkwardly, and it just doesn't give you enough pliability to work with. And underneath it all, the core of the figure is only really this body portion right here, and there just isn't there to actually really appreciate the sculpt compared to something like Gamel, which is just a big hunk of burning sexy sculpt. So you really, there's a lot to lose in this figure. That it's unfortunate that it's my least favorite of the Greeds, but there's just so little of her plus so little of the accessory count that you just can't really get a nice happy medium like you can with the other Greeds. I recommend Mezool if and only if you get every single other Greed possible. Then Mezool is kind of an obvious pickup just to complete the set. However, if you're being selective of the Greeds, Mezool is obviously, I think, the bottom of the list in terms of A, quality figure, B, worth the money, and C, just an all-around decent pickup. Like I said before, she just doesn't have the amount of sculpt detailing that things like Uva or Gamel do, particularly Ankh. And the accessory count is abysmal, just like all of the other Greeds, and the exclusive price, she's just not really worth it in that aspect. If you really loved Mezool and thought her tiny little young Japanese girl body was the hot stuff, then you might want to pick this up, but no, I wouldn't even then. So, yeah, there's a squid back there, that's cool. So, yeah, just definitely the bottom of the barrel when it comes to Greeds, in my opinion. Yours may differ, though, so go for it if you wish. You can check out chickenshobi.com for latest updates on my reviews and hauls, and of course, check out ridersrangersandrebels.com, the podcast bringing the latest token news in the greatest way possible, and you can pick up S.H.Figuarts and more at cstoysjapan.com. So stay tuned for day 5 of Greed Week with Ankh Lost. Take care and have a great one.